Hi, Cancer, and welcome to the first of two Zodiac Taroscope readings for you for the month of May. Okay, we're going to be talking about something or things that you aren't seeing clearly. Okay, I'm going to just move a couple of the decks over. We'll get to them in a minute or two. Remember, you can watch this as always, Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have Venus in Cancer, then you may find you can look at this from a relationship perspective, okay? First question out, what is it? What is something that you are not seeing clearly right now, Cancer? And we're going to be using tarot as well. Transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. Well, there you go. It's going to be different, that fresh new way of living for each one of you. The transformation, and maybe you don't see it clearly because sometimes when transformation is called for from Spirit, God, Source, Universe, whomever it is for you, we may not always be able to envision what that would look like. Therefore, we get scared, Cancer. And because we can't see things clearly, like the end result, we close off and we don't want it to happen. But this is them coming through for you, telling you there is a fresh new way of living, okay? For you out there. You just need to be willing. Talk to Spirit. Again, whoever it is for you, and say, you know what? I'm willing to get on board with this. Now, let's look. We had the Seven of Visions come out, or the Seven of Cups. Oh, love it. There's multiple choices here for you. There's multiple ways for you to do this. Multiple ways for it to go down. You may not know the end result, but there's multiple ways to get there. It doesn't have to be just one way. And maybe that could come into what I'm going to bring a couple more cards out for is what's the truth behind it? Like, why maybe are you not wanting to transform and start this new way of living? And that can be in any area of your life. For some of you, it could be as simple as I'm going to keep my home cleaner and clutter-free. For others, it could be about a job. For others, it literally could be anything in your life, just the way you and your spouse interact on a daily basis. It could be health for you. The Five of Spells. This card hasn't come out for many readings. I'm going to say almost a year ago. The Five of Spells, which I called the ant at the picnic, the bee in the ointment or your soda, whatever, always was coming out, and here it is again. So this Five of Spells, the truth behind it is you could have people or just your own thoughts, but with the spells here, with this wand energy, I feel like it's an energy behind you that's telling you, or again, your own thoughts and feelings behind you saying, oh no, don't do that. That's a horrible idea. Why would you want to do that? For example, if you were an addict, and we know how hard that is. And every time, you want to go maybe and maybe go to a meeting or even go to a program, or even you start thinking about not drinking, for example, all the little imps that come in and whisper in your ear, oh, absolutely, that's the most horrible idea I've ever heard of in my life. Don't do that. Your life will never be the same. But whatever it is, it's whenever we want to do something and the little devil, I like to say, or the imps pop up on your shoulder and want you to do the exact opposite. If you were dieting and there was a cake there, and it would be like, have the piece of cake. Have the piece of cake. Maybe for some of you, that's what it is. The Weaver of Boons. I love it because she's been coming out in the readings too. This is the Queen of Pentacles. They're saying there's always a way. Maybe for some of you, there's herbal remedies or medicines, okay? She's very grounded. You need to get grounded and out of the wandy, which is fiery and airy energy, and get down to the ground, down to basics, where it's like, you know what? The only way to do this is, for example, again, I'm using it to kind of give you the idea, a 10-step program. Not 7 steps, not 35 steps. The 10 will work if you work them. She's very practical. She gets down to the bare bones of things, and she's determined. take on that energy, okay? That's what I would say for truth behind it. It's leaving all of that negativity that's keeping you, I'm going to say the whispering, the thoughts, whatever, sometimes people even, you got to leave that, and you've got to become your own Queen of Pentacles here. Hard as it may be, okay? But again, you take that how it fits into the context of your life here, Cancer. Now, how do you deal with this new information? Okay? Because you're kind of, you know, what is it that you're not seeing clearly? How can you work through it? How do you deal with the truth behind it? And now we want to, I love this. How do you deal with this new information? Dwelling in the truth. I stand in the light of the truth. And the light of the truth is I need to start a new, fresh way of living. Again, transformation in whatever area. That's how you deal with this new information. You're like, okay, I can deny it, or I can live in the truth of it. It's living in the truth of it, the light of the truth. All right, let's just get a tarot. And we got the Nine of Boons. I love it. That is the Nine of Pentacles. You do this on your own. That's what I always think of the Nine of Boons, right? Doesn't mean you won't ask for help or people won't lend help to you. But in the end, it's like you made the choice, you made the decision to do this, and you are successful at it. Okay? You successfully do it on your own. They're letting you know this. If you dwell in the truth, it will be successful. Are there any important lessons that you need to learn from this? Let's get a couple of tarot on that and see. Are there any lessons to be learned? The Two of Spells. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we'll get there in a second. And one more. I'm loving that the Two of Spells come out here. And, oh, the Moonlight. Okay. What important lesson is to learn here is that, one, you're capable of this. You have all the sticks here, right? You have all the little twinkling light. You can rub those sticks together or call on the magic of the twinkling light and get your fire started. The Two of Spells is making a plan. There needs to be a plan in place to help you with this transformation into this new way of being, okay? And it needs to come out to the light here with the Moonlight card, okay? Which I'm going to say right now, Cancer, when we're talking, let me talk it, if I can get it out. When we are talking, oh my heavens, astrology, thank you. You are ruled by the moon, okay? This may be an emotional time for you, all right? But this needs to come to light. It says, I stand in the light of the truth. This is just saying, what do you learn from this? It's getting in the light of the truth again. Whether it's the sunlight, the moonlight, whatever, and making a plan and having a plan. To not just try to go willy-nilly without a plan. All right? Now, let's talk about last up here. If you get back into the whole, oh, I don't need a fresh new start. I don't need to live in the truth. I'm going to listen to the little devil or the people here that are telling me that's a waste of time. What if you start to fall back into that energy? Okay? What can you do to avoid it, to move through it in the future? Fire, spirit, energy. Number 17 or number 8 could be important. What I feel they're saying right here is, how do you move through it? Just like that, like lightning with balls of fire. There's no stopping you. She's standing here. She's actually willing to burn it to the ground. I want to say, Cancer, to have that fresh new start. Let's get some tarot with it. I don't know. She looks pretty determined right here with those fireballs and that lightning behind her. She's willing to burn it all to the ground for the new start. So that's what you need to remind yourself of, not to get too emotional, okay? Not to get too emotional, to allow other people to put you in that state, whether they're the naysayers or they could even be here, the naysayers, right? You're not going to let them put you in that state. You are going to achieve this on your own. by dwelling in the truth. Okay? And if you have a problem that's keeping you from having this new transformation, then you need to deal with the truth. Look, we have the Seeker of Spells, or the Nine of Wands. Again, fiery and passionate. He likes to charge out. Okay? The only thing I say here about the Seeker of Spells is you have to be clear about this grounded energy up here from the Queen of Pentacles, all right, or the Queen of Boons. Sometimes the Knight here can get a little excited, so just, because this is fire spirit energy, it's powerful, just keep it contained. But that is the energy you'll need to pull yourself, say, out of the slump, right? If you start getting kind of down in the dumps and listening to the negativity surrounding why you should not have a new start. Let's get one more, the Ten of Boons. The Ten of Pentacles is you get everything you want. Look how happy everyone is here. So if you're willing to use that fire energy for good and to propel you forward, right? Making the plan, also fire energy with the spells. That's, you know, spells, fire energy, making that plan, away you go. So there's positivity in this throughout, right? I mean, this whole thing right here, just transformation is the positive. So good luck with this, Cancer. I wish you all the best. I will see you in some of my other readings this month, or if you wait and you watch the short and sweet towards the end of the month. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.